everybody, thanks for joining me on another street walk. Today we are in beautiful San Diego, specifically La Jolla. The focus of today's video, which is special in my opinion, is the fact that I'm shooting with two new things today. So a new camera and a new lens. The highlight of this video really is this lens. This is a lens from Pergear. They sent this one out to me to test, but I asked them to send it to me in the Fuji X mount because I kind of was not really interested in trying the APS-C version because that would make all my photos like 16 megapixel. So I asked them to send it to me in the X mount. So therefore I had to rent an X mount, which was kind of exciting. And I've always kind of wanted to try the XT5. So I decided to rent the XT5. So I have this for a couple of days. I'm liking it so far, but I'm not like, you know, super stoked on it. But nonetheless, it's a good camera. But the focus of today's video is this lens. I'm just trying to take this out, test it, see how good it is. It's a Pergear 25mm F1.7, so it's got some nice, you know, fast aperture and good for low light. It's actually very compact too. I don't know if you can see on the XT5 how nice that actually looks. It looks beautiful on the camera, I gotta say that. You know, I like the two-tone black and silver. Yeah, it's a beautiful day and I'm stoked to go around and shoot. Yeah, this Kodak neg is so good. I also want to mention that today's B-roll clips are shot on the X100VI. So everything you see is going to be from that camera in terms of B-roll outside of the GoPro. It's a pretty peaceful way to start off a street walk, just taking, you know, like a little trail that's kind of off of the main street. Nice and calm, just easing the way into it. But we're gonna get to the streets with more people here soon, but just kind of taking in this scene. It's nice, man. I haven't been to San Diego in a while, and I always enjoy coming to La Jolla because it's just very chill here. Not that it isn't where I live, but it's just different. It's hard to explain, but
Take photos of birds?
no.
Just take a
Just
picture.
for fun, yeah.
Do you know what the blackbird's called? No?
I wish I did, but
Okay, thank you.
yeah.
Sorry to bother you.
No, you're good. So guys, as I've been shooting with this lens for about an hour now, I have a couple observations. Some of the things I really like is that it keeps this camera setup compact. You don't even feel the lens on there. It's very short, easy to throw around your shoulder. I might talk more about this a little bit later, but the focus ring is actually very smooth. And I wish the sort of markings were just a little bit bigger, but it works. And the aperture ring is like a lot stiffer than the other lenses I've reviewed on this channel. It's not a bad thing. At least you know you're going to be in the right aperture and it's not going to move, but there's definitely a little bit more resistance there. The first pro that I want to talk about is the aesthetic design. I really like the sort of two-tone, the black and the silver. Especially if you have a black and silver camera, it adds like a nice sort of vintage touch. It's very minimalist, and I think that it overall makes the camera look beautiful, and that's super important when you buy a lens, because you want your camera to look good so that you can feel good. The second pro is the overall build. You know, it's made of metal. The focus ring is very smooth, and the aperture ring has very nice pronounced clicks. So you know that the aperture is not going to pop out of its place. It's very, very hard to do so. The third pro I want to talk about is the price. For 70 bucks, you're actually getting a pretty competitive lens. I think sort of the build, finish, you know, the feel of all the rings makes sense. Like, they could have really cheaped out on this and just given you something that was subpar, but the sort of the tactile elements, the stuff that you touch every day, they feel really good. Every lens comes with its flaws, and so does this one. So to start off, the first con that really bothers me, especially as a street photographer, is that the lines that show you the range, you know, like when you have your f/16, f/8, f/4, and then you can sort of correspond that to the markings like in feet and meters. The lines don't have markings for the aperture. So you're looking at 3 different lines, and you're not even sure what aperture markings those are. So that would have been nice, and that really bugs me because I really wanted to use this lens when I was out that day and shoot in sort of range focus, but I just couldn't. So I had to really just stop and compose, you know, pull focus myself. But in some scenarios, like, I really just needed to range focus because it was all happening so fast. The second con that exists that doesn't really bother me too much, because I really don't shoot at high apertures, is the fact that when you really stop down, I mean, you can notice even on the LCD screen, just the loss of contrast every time you stop down, you know, from f/8 to 5.6 to 4, eventually down to 1.7, you see sort of like a circle of just like, of your contrast just disappearing. And I don't really like that per se. You know, I really shoot at f/8, f/11 anyways, so for me, it doesn't bother me. And like, you can also add that back in, you know, in Lightroom, which I did for some of the photos. So it's not a big deal. I mean, it's a $70 lens, but you do have to know, and you shouldn't be surprised at all, that if you do get this lens and you shoot at f1.7, there's definitely going to be some post-processing that needs to happen there. You know, you're being offered a budget lens here, so like, you kind of have to understand what you're getting. Like, you're not going to be getting crazy coatings on the lens. You know, f1.7 is going to have some soft edges. You're going to lose a lot of contrast at f1.7. So like, optically, this lens really shines at like f5.6 and up. I wouldn't honestly use it less than that, you know. I don't even shoot that way anyways, but for some of the photos that I did take at f1.7, I looked at them and I'm like, yikes, like, I gotta fix that. I gotta be honest, I had a lot of fun shooting this setup. You know, first time with the XT5, I really like it, but I'm not like crazy about it. I wouldn't buy it now that I've rented it. I think the X106 is better if you ask me, or I'd rather wait for the X Pro 4 whenever that comes out. But this lens pairs very well with, I would imagine, any X mount that you get it for. It's just so nice because it's like, it's very compact and it's sleek. It's perfect for street photography because it's really under the radar, and you could just slip this whole setup in your bag and like not even feel it. So I really think that this would be a good budget option for somebody that wants to maybe get something that's, you know, f1.7, or they're just really trying to experiment with manual focus. I think this would be a good option. But again, it's up to you if you think that this is worth your money. Lastly, I want to say thank you to Pergear for sending out this lens. It was a complimentary lens to test and review. And, you know, I appreciate when brands send me lenses because I want to give you guys the sort of the real scoop on these lenses, and, you know, whether or not they are good and good for street photography, because that's the niche that I mostly dabble in. So all the thoughts are my own. I don't ever, you know, take money to say something that's not true. I just give you the raw facts and sort of let you make your decision. But yeah, I just want to thank them for sending this out. Well, it is the weekend, so I hope you guys, you know, enjoy with your family, go out and take some photos. I appreciate if you guys could hit the like button. And if you're new here, my name is Junette. I'm a street photographer based out of California. If you want to see more stuff like this, just go ahead and hit subscribe and you'll see a video from me every week or two. But that's all I got for now, guys. Have a good one. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.